there guys, what's up? Paladin here, once again with another YouTube video for you all today, and I've got to review WWE's Fast Lane, replacing Elimination Chamber, and actually I put in the description of the last video, rest in peace, Elimination Chamber. But anyways, it actually got replaced with a relatively good starting pay-per-view, unlike Battleground. Let's not pretend that pay-per-view even fucking exists. But anyways, so Fast Lane making a very good debut for itself, because honestly I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. It had one or two very big ups and down, or I'm sorry, one or two down matches, I guess I should say, really upsetting, disappointing matches on it. But the rest was really good. The rest was really fucking solid. So let's get into it. First match of the night, Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Kane with Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. Once again, J&J Security. They actually, surprisingly, defeated Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, and Ryback in the 6-man tag team match. The match went on for 13 minutes and a single second, which is kind of funny, just one extra second. But anyways, so, personal feelings about this match. Give me a hint. Basically, I didn't really think this match was going to be that great in the first place. I thought it was going to be because honestly, the only two great people in this match were Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, and the only two decent people in this match were Ryback, and I'm going to have a little toss-up, maybe Eric Rowan a little bit. He is kind of getting better, but Big Show is just not that great anymore. And Kane, you're clearly past your prime. I'm sorry, bro. Just stop. Stop. But anyways, so, surprise, I personally thought that Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, and Ryback were going to win the match. It made sense to me. But they lost. Very surprising. There were a couple of nice spots in here with Ryback, and a lot of curb stops thrown off with, Seth Rollins. I see surprises with Ryback because Ryback is clearly improving. If anybody still thinks he sucks, I'm going to throw it out here. He's clearly getting better. He's catching people more efficiently now. He's not dropping them. He's not botching anything too much, it doesn't seem. So he's getting there. He's showing his actual strength, not fucking up too much. And Big Show, it was funny because the conclusion of the match had Big Show like jumping up for a KO punch that he did to Dolph Ziggler while Kane was about to throw him off the top turnbuckle. Big Show jumped and it looked really fucking funny because his big ass is, you don't need to be doing all that. You were tall enough as it was. But he jumps up and KO punches Dolph Ziggler, and that's essentially how they win the match, because after that, Kane just chokeslams Ziggler, kind of rubs in a little bit more dirt in Ziggler's face just by chokeslamming him, and then they pick up the victory. Personally, I think it's a 2.5 out of 5, though. To remind you guys, especially the new guys, 2.5s out of 5s aren't necessarily bad, because they're not a 3, which 3s are solids. It's just 2.5 out of 5s are like, they weren't bad, but they weren't, it wasn't special, really. They had a couple good, nice moments, but nah. And then 2 is just kind of like, bleh, wasn't that good. And then you get any lower, and then yeah. But anyways, that's just my rating system really quick for you guys, all you newcomers, cucumbers, any newcomers. Anyways, whatever. So, Goldust defeated Stardust in a singles match, which lasted 8 minutes and 55 seconds, almost 9 minutes there. This is another one of those kind of matches. It was pretty decent. Goldust pretty much dominated the first half of the match, though. And then Stardust picked it back up. And it was a very interesting match because the crowd kept chanting Cody, and it kind of confused, Stardust, kind of throwing him off a little bit. It was a very personal kind of thing going on in the ring, so I liked that aspect. But for the most part, the first half of the match was Goldust, the second half of the match was Stardust, basically. And Goldust won via roll-up, and it looked really weird because the ref didn't actually land his hand down for 3. He actually just yelled 3, which, yeah, very confusing finish to that match. Referee, you should have kind of thrown down your hand a third time there, buddy. I don't know if the match was supposed to look like that for the end, but it was weird. This is another 2.5 out of 5 for me. I wish it was more on and off, back and forth, rather than, one just dominating for the first half of the match and the other person dominating for the rest of the half of the match. for the other half of the match, I guess I should rather say. But anyways, next up we have, this was actually a surprise. I did not think this was going to be this good. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro with Natalya defeated the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso with Naomi, and they won. I can't believe they won. I thought they were going to save it for Mania, but they won last night. That's Monday, last night. In that match. And the match went on for 9 minutes and 33 seconds. So Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are the new champions. And honestly, I'm digging that. Because first of all, Cesaro did decent in this match, but he wasn't really in the match most of the time. It was actually Tyson Kidd in the match most of the time, and boy, oh boy, did Tyson Kidd put on a show. Tyson with those fucking kicks are ridiculous, and he does this kind of spinning combo at the end with his finisher, and then immediately swaps back to the other person. He landed a couple of sharpshooters in there too. It was actually pretty cool. Cesaro did a one-handed swing, which is actually pretty awesome to see. The Usos are pretty good as always in this match, but honestly, I'm going to give this match about a 3, maybe even a 3.5 out of 5. Very good showing for Tyson Kidd, and everybody else was just solid in general, so very good match. And pretty much the rest of the pay-per-view is going to hold this up, besides one other match that we do not talk about. I'm not going to talk about it for very long. No, I'm probably going to rant about it, actually, so no, I probably will talk about it for a very long time. And actually, ironically, that is the next match I get to talk about. So, surprisingly, I thought this was going to be saved for in between the third final match and the actual final match. But the Nikki Bella and Paige match actually happened next. So, Nikki Bella with Brie Bella defeated Paige in a singles match for the WWE Championship. The match lasted for 5 minutes and 34 seconds. What is with these short Divas matches? So, this match is fucking horrible. Right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm giving it a 1.5 out of, so a 1.5 out of 5, basically. Just, oh boy. This match is fucking horrible. First of all, Nikki Bella, every time I see you on TV, I don't enjoy it at all. I'm sorry. You're not very good at all to me. I think everything that you fucking do is terrible. Some of the moves that you do look kind of botched from time to time, and you're just in the position you're in because of John Cena. And Brie's in the position she's in because of Daniel Bryan. And Total Divas. Forgot about that. And Total Divas. Just... This is horrible. This is a very terrible match. My voice just cracked. Paige had, out of the entire match, 10% out of 100 offense. In that entire match, I was just talking about the other day, actually yesterday, because that's when I uploaded the video. I was just talking about yesterday, how if WWE keeps fucking up Paige, it's going to make the fans think that she's horrible, when in actuality, she's not, because if you were to look at her NXT matches, and probably anything prior to that, I haven't seen anything before NXT, but just NXT alone should show you that she can wrestle, and she can wrestle a match for about 15 minutes, honestly, straight. So if you could give the Divas longer matches and let them show their in-ring wrestling abilities, that would be great, WWE, and stop giving them 5 minutes to work with. This was literally all Nikki the entire match. I don't know why they made Paige look so fucking weak. It was terrible. It was fucking horrid, and the way the match ended was garbage as all hell. Very stupid finish in my opinion. I think she just blatantly lands her finisher or whatever and Paige loses or whatever. Just fucking stupid. It was horrible. I'm pretty sure Brie actually did something too to help her sister win. Just garbage. Garbage. Terrible match. All the 2.5s, as I've said so far that I've given, which have only been 2 and there's only gonna be 2, actually, if you think about it, are sort of still solid matches somewhat. So, again, I'm throwing it out here, 2.5 isn't necessarily bad. If I give anything lower than that, however, like a 1.5, that's where you should get kind of worried. Do not watch this match. It was fucking horrible. If you watch this match, you're just gonna think Paige sucks even more, which is not the case. It's WWE's fucking fault, because I swear to God, creative team is run by a bunch of monkeys. Anyways, so we have Bad News Barrett and Dean Ambrose going off in a singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Champion. The match went on for 7 minutes and 58 seconds, almost close to 8 minutes. And Bad News Barrett won by disqualification because Dean Ambrose got himself disqualified. What a fucking surprise. So, Dean hasn't won a pay-per-view since Payback 2014, from what I've heard. WWE, you gonna do anything about that? But I will say this match was actually really, really good. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Pretty solid match. And honestly, the ending of it made me fucking crack up because literally Dean Ambrose, what he did, he pretty much kicked Barrett over and over again by the turnbuckle, which got him disqualified because the referee got, counted to 5 and stopped the match essentially. But it was funny because Ambrose just slaughters Barrett after that. He just practically kicks his ass, does his finisher, and just walks off with the IC title. It was really funny, honestly. He just literally takes the belt and just walks away with it. And like, yep, this is mine. This is basically mine. This is mine now. I'm going to walk away with it. So, honestly, I liked the match a lot. Maybe even give it a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely doesn't really seem like it should, though, because it was disqualification. So I'm going to keep it at a 3 out of 5. But it was an entertaining match. They both landed. Actually, Barrett landed his wasteland. So that was actually nice to see a finisher at least done in this match. Ambrose landed that elbow thing that he... Or not elbow. Clothesline from the ropes that he always does. Extremely predictable, but doesn't matter. It looks awesome anyways. So... I just personally like that match. I just like Ambrose a lot, so maybe I could be a little bit biased, but I'm just saying the match was pretty entertaining for the most part. So next up, we have Rusev with Lana versus John Cena, and this match practically went as I thought it would, but it actually didn't go down exactly how I thought it would. See, I thought it was going to be by disqualification of some sort. Now, Rusev did actually win the match. He won. He beat Cena. The match went on for 18 minutes and 42 seconds. I actually estimated. I said it would probably be about 20 minutes anyways. So, pretty nice that essentially Rusev got a win over Cena. And it was not any win. It was by submission. That actually counts. And the reason I say it actually counts is because Rusev still did something dirty to actually win the match. Essentially, at the end of the match, Lana came in and distracted the referee. Rusev landed a low blow and landed the accolade for like the 3rd time, I think, in the fucking match. He landed it about 2 times, at least 2 times. John Cena did not get an AAN. I don't really care because it's just a fireman's carry. It turned into a drop. It's the most stupid fucking finisher ever. I don't understand how he keeps winning with that, but what the fuck ever. Anyways, so he landed actually a couple of STFs in on Rusev, and Rusev got all out of all of them essentially. And Cena actually showed some power, got out of the accolade one time by essentially just getting up and powering out. And that was actually close to the end of the match where Rusev goes ahead and low blows him afterwards after he gets out of it. And then he wins the match via submission after the referee turns back around. And he puts Cena again in the accolade. Now, personally, I thought this was a great match. It was actually very back and forth. It wasn't one-sided at all. Actually, I will say this, maybe for about 25% of the match, it did seem like it was Rusev for a while at some point. It just seemed like it was just all Rusev for a bit. Rusev playing the whole "you're getting old, you're not as good as you used to be" game, and they played that well, I guess, with the story in the match. It seemed like Cena seemed somewhat weaker. He did really aggressive stuff though at the same time, and I will say this: what was it? I think he did a kick to Cena or something. He did like a clothesline or something and knocked Cena's lights out. But then after that, Cena landed one of his own, and it looks really fucking devastating on Rusev. So overall, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Very solid match, other than the whole low blow thing. I didn't think that was honestly necessary. He could have just actually made Cena pass out, at least. He did make Cena pass out, which is how he won by submission. It wasn't Cena tapping. I just think regardless, Rusev could have put the accolade in a couple of times and then made Cena pass out without the help of the low blow. But whatever, still a pretty decent match overall. 3.5 out of 5. So, finally we have our last match, which I swear to God the crowd was dead for the first fucking half of it. We have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, a singles match. Whoever wins essentially gets a shot at Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. This match went on for 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, before I continue on, actually, I will say this. I believe there were 2 promos in this pay-per-view, And honestly, I can't remember one of them, but that doesn't matter at all, honestly. The bigger one that I need to remember, I actually remember. And oh no, I'm sorry. I do remember the other one now. At first, we have our first promo before I, talk about the main event. Our first promo was the whole Sting and Triple H face-off thing, and that was actually a really cool face-off. Triple H looked like he had the upper hand because essentially he kind of smack-talked Sting and then tried to beat him up, and he does beat him up eventually. And then grabs the sledgehammer. It looks like he's about to just knock the shit out of Sting with it. Sting comes out of nowhere with the baseball bat, gets Triple H to drop the sledgehammer, and just kind of holds him towards the turnbuckle. And then, just points at the WrestleMania sign. And he's like, yeah, we gonna fight at Mania. We gonna fight at Mania. But basically, that's how that went down. Sting hits him with the bat, then lands the Scorpion Death Locks, Death Drop. I can't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry, guys. I wasn't a WCW fan. I grew up with WWF and WWE. I apologize, but I think that's what it's called. It's either drop or I fucked up twice just now. It's either drop or lock. I'm pretty sure it's drop. The lock is what Paige does, actually. I'm pretty sure it's the modified version anyways. But moving on. So then we have our second promo, which was a very interesting one. So the bell dongs or rings or whatever the hell dongs, what is it dongs or whatever. That sounded really weird when I said it. But anyways, so the bell goes off and the chanting goes off. I'm hyped as fuck. Room goes dark. I'm like, it's Undertaker. Undertaker's back, gonna have a match at WrestleMania. And it actually turns out to be Bray Wyatt, very interestingly enough. And Bray Wyatt essentially calls out Taker, and he cuts a promo, then calls out Taker, and says he's going to fight Taker at 31. So we have our match for that. So very interesting stuff. I think that's going to be really awesome. You guys should check out that promo, by the way, of Bray Wyatt coming out with the Undertaker's music and stuff. Very interesting. He came out in the casket, and you think it was going to be Taker that was going to come out of it, but it was actually Bray. I'm sorry, I am sick, so I'm fucking up words from time to time. I'm mentioning this very late in this, so you're probably, like, oh man, this guy keeps fucking up his words and stuff like that. I'm still sick. I apologize. This is getting kind of lengthy, though, so hurrying up with this, trying to finish it off, we have, again, our main event, Roman Reigns and Bryan, which Reigns won. I kind of saw it coming. I'm pretty sure everybody saw it coming, but this was a really fucking good match, honestly. Like, it wasn't like 5-star classic good, but it was like, I'd say it probably earned a 4 out of 5, roughly. I just think it was really good. Bryan and Reigns went back to back. At first, it seemed like Reigns was just going to be a powerhouse and keep beating up Bryan, and I was like, please don't do that, WWE. Please make it back and forth. And it was back and forth because Bryan then, damaged Reigns' ribs by kicking him with the tip of his foot into his ribs and hurt his kidneys or whatever. And after that, Bryan took advantage of that and kept, hurting his ribs or whatever. Very nice back and forth match. Reigns hit a you want to talk about clotheslines from hell. Reigns hit a nasty clothesline on Bryan in that match. He made Bryan do like a fucking front flip. And it was the most greatest thing ever when he hit that clothesline. Bryan actually landed his finisher a couple of times, and it was very nice to see that he did. Roman used a couple new moves in this match, which, again, he has more moves than Cena. Stop calling him a new Cena. It's not, his fault that WWE wants to treat him like that, but I'm just saying he has more moves than John Cena. Anyways, so Reigns, did a couple more moves in this match. Like I said, I personally like Roman Reigns. I just don't, again, I disagree with how WWE's kind of, forcing him, but it's like, I overall like his character. But anyways, it was just a really nice back and forth match. Bryan eventually would land his running knee, which, everybody thought, okay, it's over. Bryan landed the running knee. No one's really actually, kicked out of it before. Reigns actually kicks out of it, surprises everybody, surprises the fuck out of Bryan. Then they have a little bit more back-to-back stuff. Reigns, I believe, landed his, he landed the Superman punch, I believe, on Bryan at least once in the match. And then after that, Bryan got the upper hand again, and you thought, oh, okay, it's over. They had this big clash. Reigns is tired. Bryan's is going to run the running knee down again, down the ring. And, he's just going to finish Roman off. Roman actually turns Bryan's running knee into his own spear, essentially. So uses Bryan's, force to make his own, to do extra damage, I guess is what I'm trying to say here, with his spear. And then he eventually just wins the match with that spear. And it was a really good match. And unfortunately, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with the crowd, because the crowd wasn't even cheering for Bryan, like, at one point. Like, Bryan landed his, he had the yes lock on, and they didn't cheer when he was when he had it on. Like, it was like, what is wrong with the crowd? Why are they so dead? Like, even when Bryan is doing something, they're not doing anything. Like, honestly, they didn't boo Roman that much, to be completely honest with you. He actually got cheered quite a decent bit when he actually came out. So I don't understand what was with the crowd tonight when the match started up, and it was like the second half of the match. Oh, the crowd's like, this is awesome, and I'm like, yeah, it is. Thank you very much for finally fucking acknowledging that. By the way, again, I don't know if I said it before. I'm pretty sure I did. The match went on for 20 minutes and 10 seconds, and I'm going to give it probably a 4 out of 5. Overall, the pay-per-view, I'd say it earns about a 7-ish out of 10. I think the match that's really holding it back is the Divas match and the odd victory with Goldust and Stardust, and the decent-ish match of the very first one with the 6-man tag. But anyways, that's basically it, guys. I'm sorry if this got kind of long. Actually, I'm pushing 20 minutes, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So that's basically it. That's my opinions of the pay-per-view, guys. I hope you all agreed or enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a comment and like below, again, once again, if you agreed. So that's it, guys. I will see you guys next time. Peace.